The people in this house are very loud upstairs, and I would like to apologize. Hello there, welcome back to the Historian's Vanity. Today I'm going to be playing with the Colourpop Honey palette. Mine's not so clean anymore because, of course, this has been out for a little while now and has been in my collection for a few weeks now, and I have been enjoying playing with it. I do quite like a yellow eyeshadow just kind of all over the lid and a little bit diffused with a black eyeliner, but today I decided to go a little bit extra after I watched Betty Jean of beautbean's channel. I watched her 3 Looks 1 Palette video with this palette last night, and it really inspired me to pick it up today and try and do something with some of the gold shimmers in here, just because I haven't used them that much, and I do love a gold shimmer eyeshadow, and I do like Colourpop's gold shimmers normally, so I knew I would like playing around with these ones in here. This one, Queen Bee, actually reminds me quite a lot of it's like a brighter, more yellow version of the duochrome shimmer inside the Juvia's Place Tribe palette. It really reminds me of that brownish copper that's in there. This is like another version of that color, like a light yellow version of that. So I really do like that color quite a lot. And Dandy reminds me of the gold in the Good Sport palette. Sorry, I just got an email. That reminds me of the gold in the Good Sport palette, which I do quite like as well. But I was really excited to play around with some more yellow today, so I will show you how I created this look inspired by Betty Jean of beautbean. Alright, here we are with most of my makeup on. Got my brows on, got my base on. I am just going to start with a little bit of Revolution Cut Crease Canvas as a base for my eyeshadow look today. I'm just going to tap some of that onto my top lid here and then move it around with my finger, just blend that out, just using the warmth of my finger, and then blend some of it underneath my eye as well, just because I am going to be blowing this out quite a bit today. I'm blowing the yellow shadow out around my eye quite a bit. And here we have the palette, of course, the Honey palette from Colourpop, their yellow monochromatic palette. And I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to start with the shade called Oh Behave, which is really a nice, bright, mustardy yellow down here. I'm going to start this on a Morphe 506 blending brush, my favorite brush. Just going to load that up and then start putting that into the crease here and then blending from there. I'm pretty much going to be putting this shade all over up in my crease and then blending that out up towards my eyebrow area and then winging out a little bit at the end of my eye and then throwing it on my lower lash line as well, and really not being too careful down here my lower lash line. I'm just trying to blend it out. I will take a little bit of the lighter shade called Stinger and just use that to help my edges really blend into my skin tone here. So I'm just putting that on the edges of where I put that Oh Behave color. I really like that Oh Behave color. I think it's really pretty all over the lid. I am just going to pack that Oh Behave over the lid here as well, just as a base for the shimmers as well here. This is actually a very simple eye look, and you'll notice it doesn't take much time at all. And it only, of course, is using one color and one brush mostly as well. I will take a little bit of this dark mustard called Buzzkill as well, just here in the outer V of my eye, very end of my lid here, and then a little bit underneath my lid onto the lower lash line here, just a little bit at the outer corner, just to add a little bit more depth underneath the shimmer shade that we'll be putting on that later. I'm going to catch this other eye up, of course. Here we are. As you can see, I've really quite blown out that yellow underneath my eye too. I'm going to take a small e.l.f. concealer brush here, which is what this is, and I'm going to take that darker shade, or darkest shade rather, Buzzkill again on that brush, and I am just going to kind of work this into my lower lash line, really close to the lashes, the lash line as it were, just to add a little bit more depth and smudge down here. So here is that. I'm going to go ahead and take the NYX Glitter Primer here and a Morphe 124 flat shader brush. I'm going to use this to sort of cut a crease, but in a soft way. I'm not really being too particular about it. This is something that Betty Jean does on her channel, and I wanted to try it this day, since I never tried it before, to use this glitter primer as a eyeshadow primer, basically as a cut crease primer. So I'm kind of going in here and cutting where I would cut the crease were I to do that with concealer or a real eyeshadow primer. Something opaque, but of course that's why I put the yellow down underneath this, is so that because this primer is sheer, it would still show through if I needed that opacity later on. But I was just kind of cutting my crease-like shape, but I'm not worrying too much about this because I will blend the edges a little bit as opposed to making it a nice crisp line like I would normally. And I'm going to go into the lighter of the shimmer shades called, or the middle tone of the shimmer shades into this palette, I suppose, called Dandy, which is a very bright yellow gold, and I'm just going to start packing that on my lid, using that same brush, still sticky from that primer. I was, actually quite, you can see I make a little face here. I was actually quite impressed about how this laid down over the glitter primer and with that sticky brush. And then I will go into the darker of the shimmers called Queen Bee and put that on the outer side of my lid, or the second half of my lid, I suppose, over that Buzzkill shade that I laid down earlier. And of course I am just blending the edges of that a little bit over where the cut crease line would be. This is not something that's going to be quite very sharp. I am going to go ahead and take Dandy and put that on my inner corner and the first third of my lower lash line as well here. Since that shade is so bright and shining, I think it does well in the inner corner as well. So I'm just putting that in there. Fun. Very, very blindingly gold. Back into that glitter primer to do the other side, of course, and I will go ahead and just catch this side up to the first side. First with that Dandy on the first 2/3 of the lid, almost a little over half, I guess, and in the inner corner, and then with that Queen Bee on the outer half of my lid. Very shiny. Wow. Plus a ring light. It's pretty epic. I am just going in with that Queen Bee on the underside of my lid in the center too. Or not underside of my lid, under lower lash line. Wow, I can't talk. I am going to take a little bit of Colourpop's loose pigment in the Lion, and I'm going to use a little bit of glitter primer again on my very inner corner and just tap this loose pigment on over that glitter primer in the very inner corner of my eye. I just like to have a little bit of sparkle in here as opposed to just the glow of the metallic eyeshadow. I quite like a glittery inner corner, or sparkly. This glitter, unlike the Maiden, which I used in my different video recently, this one is a little bit more pigmenty as opposed to just straight up glitter, which is nice. I did put a little bit of that on my brow bone and then onto my cheekbones with my finger a little bit too, just because I was feeling sparkly this day, I suppose. I thought it might look good on top of my highlighter a little bit. I don't think it made that much of a difference, but it was fun anyway. And then I couldn't decide what to do with my waterline, if I wanted yellow or white, and I ended up going with yellow, which is the Punch Gel Liner, Cream Gel Liner from Colourpop here. And then I did, of course, put on a black wing, starting with my NYX Matte Liquid Eyeliner. This is what I used to draw on the eye portion of my winged eyeliner, and then the little wings at the end themselves I draw on with a Wet n Wild liquid eyeliner, the Mega Liner from Wet n Wild. I was going to go in with a larger wing, and then I kind of chickened out, so that's part of the reason why my wings are very uneven on this day. But you know, like eyebrows, they can be sisters. Then I will go in with my Urban Decay Perversion Mascara on the top and bottom lashes, and then go in with some falsies. These are the Ardell 113 lashes. I do have them trimmed a little bit. I just put them on the outer half of my lash, basically. And then we have the eye looks. The eyes are done, I suppose, but we need some lip color, and I am going to go in with a discontinued and quite dried up old Colourpop matte lipstick here in the shade Ribbon, which is my favorite red, and it's dried up and no longer usable, which makes me quite sad. This is probably the last time I'll be able to use it here. Making it work here. But here's the finished look altogether, and I really like how it came out, honestly. I think I'll be wearing this palette a lot more now that I've played with the shimmers. It really is a quite glowy, fun, epic, bright look. So this was my finished look playing around with the Honey palette from Colourpop. I do really quite like yellow eyeshadow, and I like gold eyeshadow, so this was something I just knew I had to have in my collection. Again, this look, or my inspiration to do this look today, or play with this palette today, was watching Beautbean's 3 Looks 1 palette video with this palette. I really liked all 3 of the looks that she did. She does some really great looks over on her channel. I really like her style of makeup, and I really like her channel, so make sure you check that out. I'll put the link to her down in the description below as well, of course. But I really enjoyed playing around with this palette. I really enjoy the Colourpop monochromatic palettes, of course. I am hoping now that they're doing fruit ones that we might get some, like a lime palette would make me really happy, because of course I like green. And the green palette from them is more of a blue toned greens heavy palette. It's like more of the mintier, bluer green in that palette. It's quite true green, but on the bluer side. So I wouldn't mind seeing a lime inspired, like key lime inspired palette from them, or a blueberry or blackberry, the dark berry tones, or even a plum, things like that, fig. They are doing, I guess, a pastels series, so but like a light blueberry muffin-y palette, I would gladly pick up. They did just release the peach one, which I won't be getting just because I have a couple of peach palette or peach colors from them already that I really like, and I don't need any more peach eyeshadow. It's just kind of a neutral to me, and I'm not very interested in neutrals, as we know. I do want to pick up the orange palette. I just haven't done it yet because I haven't been able to place an order from Colourpop recently. Instead, I bought that Sugar Pill palette that I played with here on the channel for you guys. And then I did actually just buy a new palette this morning. I got, not from Colourpop though, I got the Kaleidos Neons palette. So if you guys would like to see me play with that, let me know in the comments below, of course. I think I'll be doing a video with that just because it looks like so much fun. But in any case, I had a lot of fun playing around with this one today, and I'm excited to play with more palettes in the future. Let me know what other palettes you would like to see me play with if you know that I have them, or I will tell you if I have them again in the comments below. And thank you, as always, for watching today. I'll see you again soon. Bye.